Hey everybody, it's Matthew of Mr. Domestic, where we spread joy and positivity through sewing and fabric play. In this video, I'm going to walk you through fabric weaving. Specifically, this one's going to be Tumbling Blocks Weave, and I have one previously in my YouTube channel. However, I used a pattern for all of the fabrics there that I know it was harder to visualize. And so this one I'm using solid so you can see exactly how it works and the magic of creating this fantastic fabric weaving pattern. So what you need is to watch some of my other fabric weaving videos because I'm not going to walk you through creating the grid or pressing the strips. I have videos on that, but essentially you're going to need the supplies that I'm going to talk about now. But before we talk about them, before we get into the content, anytime you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get ready to have some fun together. So back to what you need, right? What you're going to need are your fabric strips pressed. 3 different half yards. Here, 1, 2, and 3. These have already been pressed, and I'm going to link a card here for the video on how to prepare your strips. They start out as 2-inch with the fabric strips, and then they're pressed towards the center, and it's kind of like bias, but it's not cut on the bias, and then that's how you make the strips. And you need a board. I've already prepped my board. I am doing a 16 by 18 tumbling blocks. That's how I've prepared my board right here. But also there's a video on this, so I'm not going to go over that. I would like these videos to be consumable and not too long. And then you need a fusible interfacing. This is a ThermoWeb heat and bond mid-weight fusible interfacing. And then after you draw the grid, you want to put the interfacing with the texture side up because you're going to fuse the strips after you're done. You need pens. I got purple pens just because I wanted to match, and if you can see here, I did a purple grid because I wanted all to be aesthetic. That's very extra. And then I have my wefty needles. I have a 1-inch and a 1/2 inch here, and since orange and purple are opposite colors, that's why I picked the orange. There was a lot of thought that went into this video. And then I have masking tape. This is painter's tape because blue is prettier than just like white, but any kind of masking tape or painter's tape is my favorite tape to use. So this is going to be in 3 stages or 3 layers. So that's what I'm going to refer to. This first layer is all going to be just laying it straight and vertical. There's going to be a lot of fast forwarding in this video. But before we do that, we're going to pin the corners of this because otherwise this would be loose. And this is cut a little bit larger, like wider, taller. That means larger, right? Than the actual grid. So regardless of what size. And then I'm going to pin the corners. And there's a special way that I pin that I will show you now in close up how I pin. This is how I pin all of my pins in my videos and in my weaves because it keeps everything taut and it'll keep it from shifting. So regardless of the thickness of the foam board you use, I highly encourage that. So now this is secure. And what I'm going to do is not start with this one because if you are doing like a tumbling blocks where you want it to look like it's legit like tumbling blocks and the sun is going down, the lightest will always be the 3rd layer because that's the one that's going to land on top. So I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to go ahead and start with the darkest one and go there, and my scissors are somewhere. I'm gonna use these scissors because I can't find my other ones. Oh, here they are. I am basically a hot mess in this video. So scissors, and I'm going to cut as you go for all of this. And when I am doing a weave, I like to start in the center and go out because these grid lines aren't to make sure that the strips butt up against it. It's just to make sure that everything's going in the same direction. So it's a guide in that way. So I'm going to pin to the top, and because of the camera angle, you're not going to see me putting the pins here, but I'm going to show you what I was talking about the lines and how the lines aren't super duper important. So let me pin this first one. What a pretty color. These are all Art Gallery Fabrics solids. Okay, so this one, right? So we have this line here, and like you might want to like do that, but that's not what this is about. You want it to butt up against this, so as close as you can get without overlapping it. And you want the strips to extend like a ½ an inch beyond the grid at a minimum. And then this one butts too. So, and then pin. And now I am going to fast forward through layer 1 and then get to layer 2. Now I have finished layer 1. Layer 1 done, easy peasy, got through that. Now the magic is about to start to happen. And layer 2, it's not the hardest, but it's the most complicated to get the pattern right. So I'll give you a couple tips to help you do it. Essentially, we're going to be weaving with our wefty. And this one, you probably only need the larger one. And we're gonna weave, it's an under 1, no, over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2. So get that in your brain, and I'll even like ticker it right now in the video so you can see it. And it's going to have 3 different, so 1, 2, 3. And I go ahead and write it here. 1, 2, 3. If you want to go all the way up, go up. 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to repeat itself, because even though the pattern is the same, the over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2, it has a different starting point as you move up. And so this is how you will thread your wefty. Just stick it in there, and it does make a difference whether the wefty logo or imprint is facing up. It's got a slight curve to it that curves up, so you want to make sure that the wefty goes up. Oops, wrong. That's what I get. I was gonna weave the same color. So once again, thread here, and it goes like that. So the wefty needs to be up. So where the number 1 is, I'm going to go over 1, under 2, like this. Over 1, under 2. Over 1, under 2. Over 1, under 2. Over 1, under 2. Over 1. So this is what that first pattern will look like. And then you want to look underneath to try and find the line. And make sure that it goes all the way through. And this one is the most important to get right. The others should fall in line as long as you get this one right. And you're gonna be able to see how I pin better here. That's why I didn't go too much into it in the first layer, now in the second layer. So here, I stick it in. So I stick it in just a little bit, go like that, and then push it in. And then with strips, and I did it with the first layer too, with each layer, I'm gonna pull it a little bit beyond its natural tautness. Otherwise, it's going to shift. So every single one of my strips, that's what I do. Just tug it just a little bit. Not so much that it's super taut, but just a little bit more than its natural tautness. That keeps everything in alignment. So that's the first one. And then make sure this one's lined up here. It's a lot of fussing about this first one, and you'll understand why. And so here, now that it's on the line, like it's aligned correctly, I am going to go ahead and stick a couple pins in there so that it doesn't shift and move as I'm going up and down. So now I have a little bit more to do with this one. And so this is the next one. The next one, it's going to start under 1, over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2. And I'll put that in the ticker right now so that you can see it. Over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2. And it used to happen to me a lot, why I'm repeating it so much, where I would go opposite, and then that won't work. So you'll see a pattern start to emerge of diamonds going this way, and that's when you know you've done it right. So once again, pin this one. Make sure that it's butted up against that. Pull it beyond, just slightly beyond its natural tautness. Pin this one. Okay. Yay! So now this one, you're gonna start under 2 over 1. 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 Under 2. Yay! Okay, same here. And as you can see, I'm cutting as I go. For all of them where you go the entire length, it's going to essentially do half of a strip, but the rest of them won't be half of a strip. That's why I always cut as you go whenever you do this kind of weave. So I pin that, pull it a little bit beyond tautness, snip, and then pin that one. And I'm gonna do one more just so that you can see how it starts over. There we go. So now it was 1, 2, 3. Now we're starting over again at 1. Weave my wefty, wefty up, dong, dong, dong. And now I'm starting back over at over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2, over 1, under 2. Then see how the diamonds just keep going this way? And you're going to fill in all of this and then all of this. And when you go this way, you're gonna go backwards. So it'll be 3, 2, 1. Just make sure that the diamonds keep going this way. And I'm gonna fast forward now so that you can see it and visualize it, and you'll see some of the things I'm talking about. Layer 2 is done and it's bomb, and these colors are pretty amazing. So now it is time to weave in layer 3, which is the lighter, and this is the one that will land on the top. And with this one, it's harder than the previous layer, but it's less complicated. What you're gonna have the hardest time, if this is your first time weaving, doing is visualizing what to weave under. So I'm going to show you a way that I help people, and it is looking for a backwards Z. So I'm gonna tape off some of them so that you can see it, and then I'll weave under the Z. So that's one backward Z. And this will continue. There's the next one, see? And essentially another way to look at it, I taught a class and they did this, was you see 2 of these, you're gonna weave under 2 of these. And then these 2 are verticals together. But I'm gonna keep on doing this backward Z thing because it's worked. So this is pretty nice washi tape. I can't believe that Helena didn't snatch it from my room. So now look for the next one. There's the next one. And I'll do one more backward Z, and then I'm gonna get started weaving. Because weaving is what? Fundamental. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. If you can tell me what that saying is stolen from the show in the comments, then you win a prize of like knowing something. I don't have a prize to give you. Okay, so now I've started with the layer 3, the lightest. I'm gonna weave my wefty. This is so exciting. I love weaving. And if you have that purple thing, I broke mine, so I'm not going to use it, but I've also found that this will help. It's the smaller one, and it helps get under because the wefty might get caught sometimes. So I'm weaving under this backward Z. Then I'm going to use the smaller one to catch. There we go. So it's woven under the backward Z. Go here. one more backward Z right here. See? And then this way, there are no more backward Z's, but see if you can see the two that we're going under here. And then these are two verticals next to each other. And then you're gonna go back under, one diamond, come back up, another diamond, and then you're gonna go under this one. There we go. Okay, so now, and this is where I like to share pins. I don't like bring out new pins, but I'll like take this one from here and pin this. And then once again, pull it a little bit taut, cut as I go, boom. And this one, I'll share pins. Where do I want to share pins? I think I want to share pins here. Ding, 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 ding. So this one's done. Let me move these Z's. One thing that I have noticed with people, because people send me like pictures of their weaves all the time, and they're like, I don't know what I messed up, is they'll skip one and then go to the next one because the next ones are harder to see. But to keep it right next to, this is the next one. Right here. There's another backward Z. So it's right up against. So just like all of the other strips, the next one is going to be butted up right next to it. So yay! Now I have gotten through the entire weave, and that was the focus of this video, was the weaving component. But just so you know, what I will do next, and I'm just gonna short it right here, is I use an iron, medium heat, medium seam, just press it for a little bit. And then this is where the masking tape comes in, and I will masking tape the border right here, put it in place, and then I'll remove it. And that's in another video. I'll link to a card right here. And yay! Now you can do a tumbling blocks weave. And for those who weren't able to visualize it with the pattern, hopefully this helped you out. If it didn't, I don't know what else I can do. There's a pattern. You can buy the pattern. Just try. Give it a try. Give it a go. You will love it. So if you enjoyed this video, got a tip, got a trick, laughed at me or with me, any of all of the above, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep it positive, y'all. Mr. Domestic out.